I decided that I will take the discomfort of now instead of discomfort of not reaching my future self. Welcome back to Deeply Connected with your host, Ludmila. And today we will talk about becoming her. Becoming her. I remember growing up in Poland and, dreaming about what do I want to do with my life? And I didn't have a lot of inspiration. I mean, my life was great to an extent, and I'm really grateful for it. But also, there was lack of inspiration of what type of a woman do I want to really become? And what is possible for me in relationships, in love, but also career-wise. Growing up in Poland taught me a lot of things. It taught me how to be tough. It taught me how not to share my emotions. That one is a good one, ladies, and I know you can appreciate that. Because sharing emotions is for the weak. That's what we were taught. I was a really tough kid, and I knew how to handle myself in so many ways. But again, what was possible for me in love and in relationships? I used to dream that just one day my man will arrive and everything will be easy. And I will be swept from under my feet and we will become a love story. And as you know, because I shared a little bit in season 1, nothing worked out the way I was dreaming of. So here I was thinking there must be more for me, but exactly what? And I think a lot of you, even though you have achieved so many accolades in your professional life or in your business, you still wake up wondering, what is possible for me in my love life? What is possible for me in my current relationship? And this is so normal, ladies, because nobody's teaching us how to become her. There are a few lucky women and men that have that receive that from their parents, but not many of us did. So we are navigating this world, trying to be her, but we don't know how to become her. So I remember, as I said, being a young woman, now living in Belgium, so I moved across different countries, and I'm navigating my dating life. And I found myself thinking, I need to be this type of a woman. I need to make sure that my man is happy. I need to do whatever it takes. I need to cook for him. I need to take care of him because I need to become her. I need to become that woman who has a great relationship and is chosen. And as I kept doing it, I was not becoming her. I was becoming somebody completely different. I was becoming a woman who was desperate, a woman who was needy, a woman who was really confused because I desired love and connection, and I was getting this chase, and I was the chaser. So I was not being chased. Maybe in the beginning of every encounter, there was some chase on the part of the man, but with time, I was becoming the overgiver, the nurturer, I'm always there because I didn't have tools and understanding how to become her. So as I was navigating my 20s, it became very clear to me that I don't have understanding, that I am lacking mindset, that I am lacking the vision of that woman that I am today, and I'm still becoming. So the first question for you is to really edit your life, your love life, because we are here to talk about our hearts and our desires. So if you are dating, I want you to ask yourself, who do I want to be as a woman in my dating experience? Who do I want to be? How do I want to carry myself? How do I want to be treated? Do I want to be treated that one of a kind, valuable experience for this man or this woman to be around me? Who do you want to be? And then I want you to take a look back and see, who I have been in my dating experience as a woman? And do I want to keep being her? Because for me, the answer was really clear. And you know what it is because I'm smiling. So really do the edit. And if you are in a relationship or married, ask yourself, what type of a woman, a wife, but also a woman, do I want to be in this relationship and outside of it? And am I that woman? Look at your interactions, because this is what happens with a lot of you, my beautiful ladies. You tell me you want more connection with your husband, but every time he makes a bid for connection, you dismiss him or you criticize him. I hear it daily. Ludmila, my husband is not really trying to reach out to me. But then I talk to him and the story is very different. So I want you to take a moment and see, where do I miss being a woman who can recognize where love and connection is extended towards her? So number one, we cannot create her if we don't understand what kind of a woman you've created so far. So do the edit. And I know it feels kind of uncomfortable because you will have to face some parts of you are trying to hide so hard, or blame your partner, or blame the man and the universe and the world. But the deal with this is, if you keep looking outwards and outside of yourself, nothing will change for you in your love life. So what kind of a woman have you been so far? How have you been communicating? How deeply do you truly know yourself? Or are you just the summary of all the reactions and responses that you have been given through the experience of your life so far? This is very different. The awareness and reactivity and just being an automatic pilot, very different ways of being for you. And as you do that, notice then, how does that feel when you look at the behaviors of yourself that you don't really appreciate, and those behaviors don't belong with your next version of becoming her? So let me share for me. For me, becoming her is really a woman who is so attuned to herself. But let me tell you, not perfect, because for high achievers, we want to take everything to perfection, and it has to be the right way. So I want you to take perfection and doing things the right way, and I want you to throw it away for just this episode. And then you have a choice to come back to it or not. And when we get rid of the perfection and doing things the right way, I want you to notice becoming her, for me, and I think for many of you as well, needs to be being attuned to yourself as a woman, not only in your head, because that part you have figured out in many aspects, but also in your body, in your sensuality. How do I feel being myself? How do I feel when I take off my clothes and I look at myself in a mirror? Am I becoming her? Do I like what I see? And when I don't like what I see, what's the voice in my head? Because I bet it's pretty mean. So on my journey to becoming her, I made an agreement with myself that I will do my best in the most serious but also most playful ways, how to be nicer to myself, how to be kinder to myself. That woman that I'm striving to be is somebody who is just generous with compliments, with love, with forgiveness, with space to grieve for herself first. So I can be that for everybody around me. So as I'm sharing a little bit about myself, I used to be very harsh on myself, and I don't say this voice is gone. It's still there sometimes, but now I have a way to really love on that part of me that wants me to do a good job. Just like right now on this podcast, I am speaking to you and I want you to have as much value as possible. And I'm having expectations of myself, and that's okay. And if it doesn't go exactly as I planned for it, that's okay as well too. Because the generous compassion and love I can extend to myself in this higher version of myself is exactly what will help me and help you to meet your desires in love. So becoming her for me is about being conscious, more awake, and I don't think this journey ever ends. So also becoming her is someone who also takes time to notice, where do I still have some growth to do? This woman is open to new experiences, to failures, because I don't see anything as a failure. I truly look at my life and I think every time I thought I failed, it was a redirection and it was a lesson and it was something that was needed for me to really take myself to the next level with my marriage, with my parenting, in my business, in my friendships. And so for the last 13 years of my marriage, I've been becoming her. Because when we met, we think about this. We choose a person and we choose a story that's right, but we also choose, is this person for growth? Because if you choose somebody who is not growing, you will be slowly dying. And if one person is not growing in a relationship, the relationship will be dying. So becoming her, meeting my husband, it really required of me to keep constantly reevaluating myself, not as a product or what is wrong with me, but as the next higher version of becoming me and her. How does that look like? And how does that feel like? How does that feel like? How do I show up in communication? How do I come to hard conversations as her? How do I connect sensually and sexually to myself first so I can bring that fire and mystery to my marriage and to my husband? How can I connect and reinvent myself in my motherhood and my parenting? Becoming her for me is really being a woman of excellence, being a woman of heart. I'm led by heart. And that doesn't mean that I agree to anything and everything, because boundaries are here. And next episode will be about that. But leading with heart means I make decisions and I show up in this world from a place of love for myself and those around me. That's becoming her for me. Becoming her also means being honest, completely honest, and noticing, where am I not taking responsibility? Do I see my husband doing beautiful things for me and being open and a strong supporter, and I just refuse to see it and I refuse to receive it? Where are those places within myself and within all the relationships around me that I am not showing up as her? Do you feel that? I feel that sometimes. And what I've noticed is that we go through seasons, and every time the season arrives for me, it used to really scare me when I didn't understand that. But with every season, there is again this new feeling of her. Ludmila in 2025 or 7 or 2020, 30, whatever that year will be in 10 years and 20 years, in 5 years, it's still the core me, but I will be different. I will be different because with every year and every experience and every openness of my heart, I become more deeply connected to myself. And so ask yourself, what is this woman you really want to become? Sometimes I look at the magazines of these fabulous women in the stage pictures, and look at me today, I'm stage 2, right? And there is something attractive about something you can witness and see just from observing it. And if it evokes any feelings for you, just notice that. So for me, when I look at women of success, and let me define success, what I believe about success, because it's very different for different people. Success for me means not only being successful and fabulous in your career or your profession or your business, but also being successful in your relationships. So if you are achieving all your goals, but you do it at the expense of your relationship or your connection to your kids, that's not success for me. I want it all. And I know you do too. You do want it all. So success for me is building my legacy, having an impact, being driven by passion, and also having delicious, fabulous, colorful relationships. So when I think about that, becoming her, this is my vision. And every season will require maybe something different of me, to be still able to move in ways that are aligned with my desire for myself. So who is that woman that you desire to be? How does she carry herself? How does she communicate? How does she dress? What are her habits? How does she navigate conflict? How does she handle stress and difficult periods of her life? Who is she? When other people are around her, how do they feel? How do they feel? Because remember that your own energy leaves people feel different ways. It can make them feel very desperate or disconnected or frustrated and angry and triggered. Or you can feel people understood and seen and like they matter and like they are important to you. So what is that woman? Without the vision for yourself, it will be very hard to create that. Because changing behaviors, let's be very honest, is not an easy task. If you, for example, are working on better communication and it's this trigger, every time you are activated by this trigger, depending on the situation, what it is, but if you don't know your triggers, this is again an invitation. But if you know and you see yourself constantly being activated, well, if you want to be more calm and peaceful person, now there is a journey of working with your nervous system, working with the trigger, working with understanding why am I constantly activated in those situations, and then practicing the tools and practicing habits that will support you to not be that when you become her. And it looks like mess because it looks like you taking breaths as many times as you have to. I had a client that asked me, Ludmila, you are telling me that I need to be taking breaths as much as I have to because I'm constantly activated right now? And I said, yes, that's right. Do you know why? Because for years and decades, you have dismissed yourself. You have dismissed how you felt. You have dismissed the lack of self-love. So now you are literally rewiring how you see and love yourself. Guess what? It is challenging. And you are having panic attacks because you don't know how to be still and how to be with yourself because you are chasing something outside of you. And it keeps you, again, with panic attacks because no amount of work will make you feel safe and will make you feel like you are enough. So this beautiful client of me, the homework was to record a meditation from heart and listen to this meditation with her own voice every day for a month. And what she told me, said, Ludmila, I thought I was doing self-love work and I thought that I know myself, but listening to my own voice, preaching love over myself, supporting the younger versions of myself in their beauty, made me cry. It was like a cathartic experience. And now it's more of I need to do this and I want to do this, not like a chore. And, it's just understanding that when you are on the way to becoming her, it's not a linear process. It is not. So this client, I'm speaking of her because it was so beautiful. She would tell me, okay, I'm taking breaths and I'm taking breaths and I'm breathing in the morning and in the evening and I'm doing the meditation. And it's like, it's never ending. And I said, yes, because your nervous system doesn't know how to feel safe. So you will be doing right now what it takes. If you need to take 5 minutes, you need to take 5 minutes. That's what you need to do. And so few weeks into this experience, she told me, Ludmila, my activation lessened. I still need to take breaths, but it's nothing like the panic attacks I used to have. Correct. Right. Because you are becoming her. You are loving yourself through the challenge. You are loving yourself through a panic attack. You are loving yourself with your breath and words of affirmations. Not like there's something that I need to do, but there's something I choose to do. And with time and with commitment, guess what? It works. And the process of you shedding what haven't served you to make space for what you desire unfolds. So becoming her. How do you see yourself? How do you see yourself as that woman? I see myself as living the most luxurious experience ever. And luxurious not only in money, not only in opportunities, but luxurious in experiences. When I look at my husband and I just know he is my person. And I feel felt and I feel received and I feel cherished. I also feel most luxurious when I sit on a couch with my kids and they grab my face and they say, "Mom, you are the sweetest mom of all." I receive it all. When we go on a walk and they pick up flowers for me, I became her and I'm still becoming her. The woman, the mother that is cherished. And so for me, tapping into how you feel about yourself, how you feel in the body of this future version of yourself that you are working so hard for, but just using different and not the tactics that are really supporting you to get there, you need to be able to tap into that. For me, the main feelings were expansion, joy, abundance, fullness, calmness, connection, peacefulness, and joy and playfulness, right? Because when I'm one, I also want to be the other, meaning I can be serious and I can be very focused and I can be peaceful, but I also want to bring energy into my being and my relationships in my life. So how does that woman feel, that future self? You know, and sometimes, I know I get it, sometimes it feels so far away that you almost feel discouraged of taking that road and that trip and that pathway to becoming her. But trust me when I say, please bet on yourself. Please do. Because I remember being 21 years old, living in Belgium, in a foreign country, trying to learn the language, going to college, where all classes were led in Dutch. And there is me after 1 year of trying to figure out this language. And I felt so desperate. Like, what am I doing here? Do I even belong here? Is this even for me? And I had to repeat my first year of college because the mountain that I was trying to climb felt unachievable. And so I remember living on maybe $700 a month, supporting myself with my work, traveling back home. And let me tell you, it felt hard. Very often I felt like, I don't know if I have what it takes. I don't know if I will ever get there. I don't know if my situation will get better. At that point in my life, everything felt sometimes very hard. But I felt within myself that I am not settling. I am not settling in the season of my life. I am not settling in my relationships. And I don't know what it takes, but I just need to keep going. And so there were months, I remember in college when I used to just eat rice and strawberry yogurt 3 times a day, ladies. How could I see myself being in that spot, being here on the podcast right now and having horrible relationships to teaching you how to connect to yourself so you can experience love while I'm living in the most beautiful marriage? Like, I didn't have any proof for that. I didn't have any proof. The only proof I had was that if I keep going, I will create something that's better than what is now. And I don't say better like it was not enough, because we had also amazing time in that period of my life because I was 21 years old. So listen, you can find beauty in the challenge. You can find joy in pain sometimes. Life is like that, you know? And so what it took for me to be here, it's what it's going to take for you to unravel and trust and decide of who do I want to be and what do I decide to believe. I had to believe that there were great men out there. I had to believe that I was valuable enough. Do you hear me? Valuable enough to receive and experience love and experience someone who will choose me over and over and over again. Even if the seasons in our relationships were sometimes dark, because you go through seasons. So I had to believe that and I had to choose that. So where you are not choosing yourself, where you are not choosing that you are valuable and worthy always without your career, without your accomplishments, that's an add-on. That's an add-on. But for a relationship, you don't need any of that to be loved in some way. Yes, you have to be a functioning human being that has desires and is doing something meaningful with your life. But how much of accomplishments and how much money you are making, as I mentioned in season 1, that really doesn't matter as much. So becoming her for you, it's so personal because all of us, thank God we are so different, right? So what is this for you? For me and for a lot of my clients is to be successful in their careers and their businesses and also coming home to a husband that puts his arms around you and says, babe, I love you so much. I'm so happy to be doing life with you. So in the person you are right now, what do you need to let go of to be able to attract just that? I had to learn how to stop emotional dumping and people pleasing and how to really own my emotion in a healthy way. I had to learn how to communicate without being constantly passive aggressive. I had to learn all those skills because becoming her is I can hold space for all the emotions and I can sit with you in the most difficult, uncomfortable situation. In friendship, in business, however it looks like. Because I decided that I will take the discomfort of now instead of discomfort of not reaching my future self. So what is it? Look at yourself, do the edit, do the uncomfortable thing so you can finally start opening your heart, so you can finally stop competing with men so they can love you. And they can give to you. So I was in Miami in the last few months, and it was an interesting, again, situation to observe. I was leading an event, and there were men and women in that event, and I asked somebody, "Can we move those chairs?" And some women said, "Oh, I can move this for you." And I said, "No, dear, look around you." So I walked up to the first man available and I asked him, "Sir, could you please help me with moving those chairs? It would be so appreciated." And in that moment, by being myself, I have taught the women around me what they are not seeing because you don't see it either. You open your own door. You open your own water of bottle that you are unable to open. You start, I don't know. I see women doing all the things, trying to wrestle the bottle. Oh my goodness. Trying to put it in your mouth. I don't know what you are trying to do. There is a man next to you. And if he's not there, find another one because there's always a man that is willing to help and support and care to you as a woman. But we are so used to not letting anybody in and we've got this and I can do it. Do it. How is it going? It exhausted me. So I am not doing that anymore because I became her and I'm on my way to becoming. So as a woman, do you know how to receive? Receive. I didn't know how to receive. I knew how to give. Let me tell you, I was the best giver. And I felt so amazing about myself for all the giving. But I had no idea how to receive and not even receive gifts, but received attention, receive compliments, receive time and space in somebody's life. No clue. I had no clue. I thought I was doing a great job because I was all the things to all the people, right? So for me, shedding and seeing all the patterns was so important because I cannot overcome what I'm not aware of. So whatever the challenge is right now for you, if you are a successful woman in business or in a career, you deserve love. You deserve love. I know, even though you are happy, you cannot wait to have a partner. Or if you are already with a partner, you are really wanting more connection and more desire and more spice. Like, spice is so good, right? So where are you blocking yourself? You need to first realize that and create that vision and live through it and embody it. And you can literally step into feeling loved, chosen, given to already today. Because I want you to find the ways you are already receiving love today. I'm sure there are friends. I'm sure there are people that know you. I'm sure you can build a better practice of loving yourself with yourself. So when that person comes into your life, you are ready. Or when something happens in your relationship and you feel like there's slight disconnect, you know how to come back to it. But the more you choose to stay in the old patterning and the old ways of being, the more you are reaffirming the belief, this is not for me, or this is for everybody else. So take the time you need. Because let me tell you, when I took the time, magical things start to happen. And not only my husband is elevating with me, but now I have women in business who want to support me, who want to collaborate, who want to give to me. And that's another caveat in this work is that so many of us women have such a bad relationship with other women. And we don't trust, and we don't know how to receive, and just we don't know how to open. So when you do this work, everything starts coming into place. And now I have women who are so ahead of me, and they want me to be successful, and will support me, and will have hard conversations with me if necessary. And I'm open to all of it. Because the understanding is, if I open myself to love, I also open myself to pain. If I open myself to connection, I also open myself to disconnection. Like, I take it all. Because the moment you decide to become her, everything is possible.